Tinkerwell version 4 is now released. Tinkerwell itself has been out a few years now, and it's one of those apps that I use daily. I'm always like throwing in some debugging code or just testing out ideas. But with version 4, they've added all kinds of new stuff, like a new detail drive, a table view. You can preview mailables. You can see an object graph, new theme switcher, just all kinds of new features. It's pretty sweet. So in this video, I wanted to run through the new features and show you Tinkerwell and basically how I use it each day. All right, so we have Tinkerwell open here, and the landing page, this is basically the getting started page for Tinkerwell. So what we want to go through first is basically I'll just show you a little bit on how the app's set up. So you have all the different settings here on the left. You can run code, setting working directory, connect to SSH, configure Docker if you're running Docker locally. You'll have a history, snippets, and logs. So the options here start a default Laravel. And what that does is it just has a basic Laravel install in the background, and you can run code and tinker with code, off of that. That works fine, but where it gets really powerful is you can actually open up your projects. So I have Laravel News here. I'm going to connect to it. Now with that connected, I get all the database connection, all the models, basically all the code, all the autocomplete, everything from the project itself, and that's pretty powerful. So to give you a quick example, let's look at the output. So let's grab a few articles here. We're going to say article latest limit 3 and get those. And there we go. You can see this is actually part of the new detail drive. This is the old output over here. It would just dump out the objects that was returned, from your query. So this new detail drive, it shows you the query that's ran and then the object here. The other brand new feature is the table view. So from the object, it has the little table icon. If you click that, it'll show you a table preview of basically all the results from the query you just ran. And you can export this to CVS if you ever needed to. From there, it has another one that's the eyeball, which is the object graph. So you can see all the objects in a graph. This would work better with a relationship. So let's add one here. We'll say with category, run it again. You can see we have a second query because now we're adding that relationship in. But if we click the object graph and zoom in a little bit here, you can see now we have the record, the main record, the category relationship, and then that category record in the category details. So as you can see, this is really nice when you're dealing with lots of different relationships, big objects, things like that. So with that, the next feature I wanted to cover is mailable previews. So we have community links, and what we do, what did I do wrong? I forgot a colon. So what we do is when we approve a link, we send out a mailable. So let's just demo that. So there we go. Here is the app mail link approved, and you can see it has all the basic object data. But if you click the eyeball here, it now previews the mailable. So that's pretty neat. That way you can debug it real time, and it's real easy to see the output there. Next up, logs. It can view your logs from your project. So let's log an error here. Let's say this is an error. Run that, and now we can open up the log here, and you can see this is an error. I've got quite a few here, but the power comes in because this can actually trail your log files. So you can put the number of seconds you want it to poll, and that would be perfect for if you're connected to an SSH connection, to a live server. That way you can see the errors come in real time. Next up, let's go through some settings. So open settings. You can set your PHP binary. But what's new is this theme selector. So I'm currently using the Nord theme, but you have all these different ones you can select, and that way you can just customize it to your own, to your own liking, to how you prefer it to look. The editor, you can do all kinds of things: set the font, set the line numbers, line wrap, Vim mode, all the normal things that you might expect in a little IDE project. The other new feature is in advanced, you can add your OpenAI API key, and then you can use GPT 3.5 or 4. You can also use Laravel Forge API keys. That way you can easily connect to your Forge accounts. But let me show you this new AI feature. So you hit Command K and the little modal will pop up, and then you can ask it, either it's Chat GPT, so you can ask anything. You can ask it to write code for you. You can ask it to explain code. In this example, let's have it. Let's say I have an article model. Write a query to get the first 3 ever published. And there you go. That's pretty sweet. But it's also cool because you can do, you can actually have it explain things. Explain the query. And that's pretty powerful. A lot of times when I'm writing new articles for Laravel News, I might be covering like a pull request for the Laravel framework, and in the pull request, it might be code that I'm not familiar with, that I don't understand. So a lot of times I can actually paste it over to Tinkerwell, ask it to explain it to me, and then get a nice output of actually what the code is doing. So this is a look at Tinkerwell version 4. It's, like I said, it's a nice update. It's very it has a lot of new features that are useful. You can grab this new version at tinkerwell.app. If you're already a customer, you can just download the new version. Otherwise, it is a paid product, but to me, it's well worth the money. I mean, it's something I mentioned in the beginning I use every day, and it's just part of my routine at this point. So go give it a try, give it a look, and thanks for watching.